All right. Welcome to Rich Conversations. I am joined all the way from Los Angeles by
Mm.
Timothy Hayden, who says he's cold.
Yeah, man, my body's cold. I think I'm coming down with a fever though. But I'm gonna work out later and try to sweat it out. I should be good. Uh,
Okay.
Wake up, still go to work tomorrow. It- Man, it's just kind of been really on a strict schedule, and time has really been like of essence to me. Like it's literally like last night I had group. I was doing my creative writing and I'm getting ready for my storytelling event in September. So, and then right after that, I had to go to the gym, get an hour workout in, and then I showered, went straight to sleep. And I normally do this every night. Even my work days. I come in, eat. I had to charge my ankle monitor, and then go to my last little groups, night groups, and work out after shower, go to sleep, wake up by 3:30, 3:30 to charge my ankle monitors and be ready, start getting ready by 4:30, and then I'll be out the door by 5 o'clock. And this
You're
is
just
like,
you're just providing me a list of your day.
nah, yeah, yeah, it's just, man, this is, bro,
Okay.
this is
You said you're on like a what did you say? Strict
like
schedule?
yeah, like a strict schedule.
So are
Uh,
you on more of a strict schedule now or when you were in prison?
I would say now, for sure now. Prison, because I had days where if we went through a lockdown, so when I had my sister text you like, "Hey, I got a new address" or whatever, and I was in Wasco, California. So before I was in Wasco, I was in Delano, and where we met basically. I was still there, and right before I left, we went on a 2-week lockdown. So some Hispanics, they had stabbed one of their peoples, and that put us on a 2-week lockdown. So in the state of California, now normally back then in prison, like you can go on lockdowns for months. Like it was dudes going on 9 months
So
lockdowns.
what is lockdown? What does that mean?
Lockdown is basically you in your cell 24 hours. Like you don't come out for
Okay.
nothing. Food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner comes straight to you. Certain days they might let you and your cellie, if you have one, out to shower. And you really only get you only get 5 minutes. There too, it's like you in your boxers and flip flops basically, but they call it shower shoes. So they cuff you up and they take you to the shower. You got no more really than 10 minutes to shower. You and your cellie, and it's back to the cell, and you in the cell for the rest of the day. There's no coming out. Um, and that right there can break a lot of people mentally, spiritually, because when you're in like I want to say like the average middle class person's walk-in closet, I think like a cell is probably like that big. And when you're like just confined to that, and let's just say you don't have no books, you don't have no TV, you don't have nothing, to like distract your mind of being in a
Hmm.
small environment like that, like that can turn a person insane. But even then, if you have books, but if you're not the type of person that likes to read, then it's like that breaks you. So I say all that because it was some days where we have lockdowns and I'll sleep in, or um, I'll probably just watch TV. I'll probably take a little break of, writing or reading books or whatever. And I didn't really have to follow like my schedule in when we go on lockdowns. But here's now that I'm fully back into society, it's like I have to, because it's like I can't just. I mean, I can, but then eventually I'll probably get fired, if I'm not coming into work. So it's like, regardless of how I feel, right? Regardless of what's going on in the day, I have to get up and go to work. Just yesterday, somebody got killed just yesterday, like on my path going to the train station.
Okay.
I think it was a shootout, and some dude had died in the middle of the street. But even then, that doesn't stop me. I have to keep going and still get to work and treat everything like it's a regular day. go to work, get off of work, come back, eat, relax a little bit, charge my ankle monitor, go to my last groups, work out, shower, go to sleep, wake up, get ready to go to work, all over. So it's like 5 days out the week, this is what I'm doing. And even on my days off, right? Still get up in the morning, um, go down, eat breakfast, and still try to keep myself busy, right? I mean, today, because my head does really hurt, I probably just lay down, a little bit more today, just to tell I feel better. But a little bit, I'm doing like just some research just on my part of the session, like citizenship, right? And I'm glad I chose that topic because that's now I'm really asking myself, what does citizenship mean to me?
Yeah.
And
You're
you
talking
know,
about book two of our philosophy
yeah.
series. Yeah.
So and yeah, book two is like one of my questions is, what does citizenship mean to me? And it is a belonging, right? Everybody wants to, that's just one of our desires for approval and to belong somewhere. And a lot of us, especially being Americans, we want to belong to this country, especially if we were born out here. We want to belong somewhere.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of people who are fighting to belong. And I guess that's really like the word I want to express mostly. And like in the book, it's just like that feeling of belonging, where the law says this, policy says this, but it's so controversial because you do have some people who have a birthright to be a citizenship, but they don't get recognized sometimes as citizens of the United States.
Hmm.
So I want to finish. So yeah, more than likely today again, I'm gonna finish doing a little bit more research. I remember in prison researching a little bit about Dred Scott decision, and I want to say that was in the 1800s, 1820, I believe. And I guess this I don't remember much. I don't know if it sparked off the Civil War or kind of contribute to sparking off the Civil War. I still have to do a little more research on it. But that
Yeah,
was a
it'd be
bit,
later than 1820 then. Yeah.
yeah. So, but that right there, it brings about.
1857.
Oh, excuse me. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
around
Yeah,
eighteen
right before
fifties.
Civil War.
So, but that right there brings about, they had a they had this saying basically for African Americans or Black Americans that because of they were property, they cannot be considered citizens of the United States. Now, I believe the 14th Amendment came about and that overturned that decision. But I do want to bring that up in my writing, and then there's other things as well. Just I also want to stress about. So I'll work on that a little bit today and then see where that goes. And then, yeah, it's really, man, I'm about to be getting ready for work tomorrow. But it's all been good though. I honestly like it because it goes back to like, just that purpose. I had this one lady that I converse with. She's like my therapist in a way. So when I physically showed her the book, like she was surprised because a lot of people in prison and when they get out of prison, a lot of people just talk.
Yeah.
And never really have exactly. Like showing her that made her cry.
Really?
Yeah, because it's the fact before the book, it's like I always since day one of coming here and talking to her, I stress to her like I'm a writer, I write poetry, short stories, and I used to
Yeah.
always tell her like just about what you and I have going on, just we're working on this book. And
Yeah.
there's been times where I sat in her office and talked to her about certain questions that I'm writing about, about security and freedom or success. And I will read her just some of my rough drafts of what I've got. And she honestly admitted that she did doubt me because she thought I was just like full of shit. Like, like I wasn't gonna, I'm just trying to impress her with my words or something like that. And a
Yeah.
lot, and I understand it's like I didn't take it as an insult because I know in prison you have a lot of dudes with that mentality where like they could talk a good one, but they don't back it up with actions. And
Yeah.
even when you get out of prison, a lot of dudes still holding on to that mentality of, yeah, I was doing this and I was doing that, and I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that, but they still struggle with them old selves, and the actions show that they're really not that serious. So to really show her, like I was serious, I like a friend and myself really worked at it for weeks and months to create our first book together and to get it
Mhm.
published. That brought her to tears. And she was telling me she was really proud of me. And from right there, I was thinking about it later on that day, and even the next day going to work. Just I never want to feel arrogant or complacent that, you know, okay, yeah, I got a book published. It's like I want to move on to the next because, like, I feel like that's impressive. Like, I've written multiple books and got them published. I feel like that's to
Yeah.
me, like, I'm more, and that's the thing about, for me, purpose, like, really guides me in a way. Like, and
Mhm.
I feel good about it. I was telling this young lady on the train yesterday about it because she asked, she was, oh, you're a published author. Like, okay, so what's your book about? And I was telling her about it, and she's like, man, that's really cool. Um, a lot of people would say, they want to do something, but just it doesn't manifest because they're just not that devoted to whatever it is,
Yeah.
they're aiming for. So
Yeah.
to really like create that. And man, once like book two comes out, and to be like, wow, like this dude is serious. Especially for me because I have some, and I don't want to make this all about me, but I have some like old associates where they know my situation. They know I went to prison.
I like the word you use, associates.
Yeah, no, 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 no. Well, I can't call them friends, right? Because
Okay.
I used to really sit and think about that word, like friends, like what are friends? And me personally, like I feel like a friend can actually be family, you know, because they show no matter what through your ups and downs, they're gonna support you, they're gonna understand, they're not gonna judge, they're gonna hold you
It's
accountable.
love.
Exactly. It's love,
Yeah.
loyalty, they're gonna be there, even if they might be doing bad themselves or struggling themselves, like they'll still be there for you as well, the best way they can. And to me, that's like I consider that friendship. Not somebody I just known for since childhood, and we're familiar,
Mhm.
just with being around each other or whatever. Because I have people like that where all we did was just smoke weed together, and that was like our only interest. We've known each
Mhm.
other since maybe middle school, right, or even elementary school, and I have more than likely been a friend more than they have been a friend. And it's not to, I don't really like to say that just to sound bitter, but I had to really think about like, the definition of friendship, right? Like, what does that really means to me? So and I know a lot of people where, yeah, back then I considered them as friends, but after high school we faded away. When I went to prison, it's like, we were strangers now. So honestly, they were just old associates. And but seeing now that, okay, I went through a bad situation, and this is who I was back then, and this is who I become now, you know, and I don't let my past really define who I am, and I don't let it hold me back. I use that as fuel to move forward. You know, I had one of my ex-girlfriends. She picked me up from work one day, and she wanted to talk about prison. Like, she wanted to talk about the whole experience, and I didn't want to talk to her about it. And she's like, "Why not?" And I was like, For us, that's in the past. I'm all about
Yeah.
moving forward, And I share it with you because now you've really been a part of my growth. But with her, she wasn't really a part of my growth. She was living life, and a lot of old associates that, even though I still communicate with from time to time now, you know, I would never really share a lot of my experiences in prison with them because for me, I just see like it's unnecessary. There's no point. Like, yeah, it feeds their curiosity, but it doesn't really do me much.
Yeah,
But
I understand that. And like the projects we're working on, I can tell like you're anchored in the future, your future. And so like bringing up prison, it's like it's not fueling the future in a way.
it's not.
However, it is like your future cannot, the future you envision cannot exist without your past experience. You know what I mean?
No, for
They're
sure.
interconnected and you can't break it.
For sure. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So I do. I totally hold on. So yeah, I totally agree with that. It's just with them, I'm not going because I still write about it, I still journal about it, I still converse with you about it. But I know journaling has really been my actual therapy session. So, and even
Good.
the lady I told you about that's kind of like my therapist, I've spoken to her about it, just what I felt being in prison, like just the lonely feeling. And a lot of people would just walk past my cell like I didn't exist. And I guess maybe like a small percentage of me felt like some disconnection because I can have a neighbor that's right next door to me, and here it is, a person will stop literally next door and check up on them because they were from a gang or they like to get high together or whatever the case may be. But here it is, I'm either sitting on my bunk watching TV or I'm reading a book, I'm writing, and a lot of people would just like there's nobody in the cell. I might have had maybe one or two people the most that will come by, stop, check on me. We have an intellectual conversation, and then they'll keep on moving. But from right there, just having that experience right there of okay, not a lot of people, and I realize not a lot of people will care about your situation, which is true because everybody has their own situation. So even the ones that do care can only care to to such an extent. And I've just been comfortable with now I can write and really sit in solitude and sit by my lonesome and just be fine with that. Even
Yeah.
now, like a lot of old associates, like they text me when they want just to see how I'm doing. Sometimes I reply, sometimes I don't. I just ignore it and just continue to do what I do. But yeah, I'm so like future driven of just being a better person of my past self. I'm like so determined to not let nothing get in that way. Even if it's close friends, close family members, like that's how serious I am. And when you bring up certain people, when they want to bring up old things, it's like I dismiss it fast. Like it's like putting out a little spark before it becomes a forest fire. Like I put it out quick. Like we're not
Hmm.
talking about that. And but that has given me knowing now like those boundaries that I have and not letting nobody step over that line has given me a more internal satisfaction because back then I wasn't serious about my purpose, my destiny. I didn't even, I had no direction. Here it is, I found a direction and I'm not wavering from this. And I'm doing my best to like stay focused on this path and not go left, go right, go backwards, or just stay where I'm at,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm really like, and I just been realizing energy as well. Like, when you are striving to accomplish things, the people that just come around and, you know, help you like, they can help you get to, where you're trying to be. Kind of like, that example of the Eastern hero who
Hmm.
possibly starts off by himself but ends up with a lot of people at the end, you
Yeah.
know, and all the right people too, like all the right people. So that's really man, yeah, I've been feeling really good about that. I've been feeling
That's
good.
great.
And
So
I'm just
how did it feel when you got it? Because last time we spoke, you didn't have the copy.
no, and okay, so when you sent it to the house and I called the postal service. They
Yeah,
said,
so first it didn't work. So Timothy's finally written this book,
uh,
probably dreaming about it while he's in prison all this time that you were saying.
no, I
And
really
then
was though.
it's expected this day and you want it, and then it's like delivery on hold.
Yeah, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why is this happening to me? Like it just seemed like, and you said something too, and I totally agree with it. Like it just could be the universe to test patience, right? But I've been patient for years. Like if anything,
You're like,
right?
F
No,
that. I've been
yeah,
patient
yeah,
for
no,
years.
I'm so serious. Like if prison, anybody, right? Anybody that goes to prison, if you don't learn anything in prison from reading books, having conversations with older people, watching the news or certain documentaries on TV, if you don't learn anything, the main thing you're going to learn in prison is patience. Because once you're sentenced, you have to wait for them to release. Even if you wake up the next day and have some type of epiphany of, oh, you know what I did was wrong and I'll never do it again. It doesn't matter. You can go to the warden, you can go to the correctional officers and say, you can give them the best speech. Like, hey, I realized what I did was wrong. I'm sorry. I will never do it again. They will tell you to your face, okay, go back to your cell. You still got to do your time. They do not care. So if anything, you're going to learn patience. And I'm like, man, I want to have this day because I'm gonna have my family bring it to me the next day at work, and it just feel it, to hold it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was adamant. Like I called the postal service, and I don't know, they said something about a dog or something like that, like animal interference, and which didn't make sense to me because I'm like, this is only a small book. Like you could have put that in the mailbox. Like the mailbox goes literally into my grandma's garage, and I don't think no dog is gonna, get around the package. And then even so, I know my neighborhood. Well, I haven't been there in 9 years, so maybe it could be some bigger dogs or something. And the UPS driver was just kind of scared and didn't want to get out. I don't know the situation, but I did call, and they sent it the next day, and I was happy for that because just holding it now, like, felt surreal. Like I really stayed focused
Yeah.
on accomplishing something I said, I wanted to do. And it all started back in 2018 when I was in the hole, like when I just first started taking my writing seriously, and I woke up out my sleep like, I can write a book. And it's like I really made that manifest. So I'm really proud of myself because it just shows that, when I do set my mind to something, like I can accomplish it. It's just staying focused and just still being serious about it, and continuing working with all the right people, just to help make it possible. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited about book two. Like I can't wait because that's gonna show more seriousness. Like, okay, he wrote one book and now he went back and wrote another one, and then a third one and a fourth one. Like, wow, like that's amazing. And then I can't wait for just once my all my poems finally get finished to have that published. And that's just going to be amazing right there. I have them all saved up right now in the Google Docs. And
I have so I sent to that address some more books.
mhm,
So I sent you two copies of this. It's the Aspire notebook.
mhm.
It's quotes from my favorite guys over the last like 7 years. And this one, I love this one by Tom Brady. You want to know which ring is my favorite? The next one.
For
That's how I
real.
feel about books. It's like, which one's your favorite? Next
The
one.
next, that's so real. Brady said something too, and I really respect his work ethic. Him and Kobe Bryant's.
Yeah,
Because the fact that when Kobe first won his first ring, and that was his goal, right, was to win a NBA championship. And an interview asked her
I
like,
think his
okay,
goal was to beat Michael ultimately in
well, he wanted to
rings.
be he wanted to be one of the greatest as well, like Michael,
Yeah,
because he looked up to Michael.
right.
But an interviewer asked him like, okay, Kobe, you won your first championship. What's next? And he was like, try to win another one, and another one. Try
Yeah,
to go back, season after season. And to accomplish five is like outstanding, especially with one team. But just the work ethic part of it, like even with Brady, because there's this video with Brady where he talks the truth. Like it's hard. Like doing what you're trying to do is hard. Like, and there's people that say like being successful is hard. Being an average 9 to 5 worker is hard. Even being well, I don't think being a bum on the street is hard. But even some people will look at that like even that's being hard just to stay consistent, I guess, and get through your pride or something. So the whole thing of it is choose your heart. And this is what Brady is talking
Mm,
about. It's like choosing your heart. And yeah, life is hard. And I'm already knowing you probably can agree with this, where just the mental pain of like, okay, the first book, 7 questions, and I got to tackle all this. And now 8 questions to tackle all this just to go through that mental pain. Like, and to stay focused on that, it is hard, but it's so, and I know you agree with this, it's so worth it in the end. Like, it's such a gratifying
yeah.
feeling because you can give yourself a pat on the back and say, you know what? I accomplished something I set out to do. I didn't put it on pause because there are people who said they written books or they written a draft of it and just put it to the side, and now the draft collected dust for months and years, and it's like they just never got to it.
Yeah, it's
You
about
know,
finishing. It's like in a basketball game, you can be up by 3 quarters, 3 and 7/8 quarters, but can you close out? Can you finish?
no, for
That's
real.
that MJ. That's that like
Yeah.
closer mentality. Um,
Nah, that's real
yeah.
though. That's real. So yeah, nah, just what we've been doing, man. What we've been doing is so like it's incredible. I love it. Just to wake up every day and I can say, yeah, I'm an author. This is what I do, and this is what I love to do. And but it's really going to be more impressive to me, like when I have more books, like I can really have
Once you
people
can
going.
stack them, that's fun.
Yeah, no,
Check out
that's
this.
what I'm saying.
This is just this year.
So, and just to do that, right? All the stuff that I really took the time to write, just to have a stack of
These
books
ones.
like that, like that's to me, like that's gonna be incredible because everybody is gonna see, including myself. Man, this person is serious about what they do. They are serious. Like,
Yeah. On that note, I was really proud. I spent like I feel like I don't do this enough anymore because I just showed you how many I did. But like taking the time and being present with the book for the first time, like the physical copy.
mhm,
Um, I had got it shipped. So I had this one. Um, I helped a poet publish her book. It's called Bewitched, Bewildered, Beloved. And then me and another person, Megan Gardner. So this is Anna Sadler. And then me and Megan Gardner made Pride and Prejudice, the Rich edition. Look how
mhm.
thick this is. It's like
Yeah, no, that's thick.
570 pages. So like I got these shipped in an Amazon package, but I was like tired at night and I'm like, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow morning. I love my mornings. I have like a routine. I'm like, I'm just gonna like take the morning off and I'm just gonna be with these books. And so I was out in my like study looking out the window in the morning, sipping some coffee, and I opened it and I went through each book. Unfortunately, I have the mindset where I'm taking notes on all the things that are wrong with it, and I gotta make adjustments with it. But I was looking at ours, and I was like, man, this is a really well designed book. Like, there's so many
Man.
cool elements in here.
Man, I'm telling you, bro, that was like, and even that part, like, now that we both had all of our pieces written down and just focusing on the book design, that was amazing right there. Like, I know, like, man, this is getting real. Like, we're working now just on the design of our book.
Yeah.
and just coming to the agreement of that, I think, man, that was beautiful right there. That was beautiful for sure. And now it's like just to, man, keep it like that. Actually, I ain't gonna lie, like when I had it physically in my hand, I was like, man, like just to really have the book designed like this, like that's like incredible. Like, and now anybody can, anybody that's gonna order this book is gonna like, man, when they physically hold it, like, wow, like they came up with a really cool design of the book. Like, that's really
I
cool.
think
And
this
then
is my best designed book so far. It's really
uh,
cool.
and why, when they open it and get to reading it, it's like, man, it's they gonna know, like, wow, that's really like some good stuff. Like, I truthfully feel like, especially like people I used to know and used to associate with back then, I feel like when they read it, that's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a like a circle of discussions going on. Like, man, like, what do you think of freedom or purpose? Or, are people like inherently good and things of that nature? I feel like these will spark conversations, like, real deep conversations.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of us for that. I'm proud of us. And
So
I
the question I have, designing book two, do we keep this? Like, do we keep the rose wallpaper and the rose design over here, or do we switch it up? Um,
we can switch up the okay, so the first one is a rose. Let's switch it up to another flower. Uh a primrose, a tulips. We could switch that up.
I don't like tulips. I love
Any
roses.
what about
But then it's like
what
this
about
is where
daisies?
I sort of like get in my head. I'm like, am I changing it just for change's sake? Even though I love this, like I love this, am I supposed to change it? Or like, like what? I don't know. You know what I mean?
We can leave it the same, and it's just become book two because the subtitles is gonna show is book two. Um, I just the reason why I say like I want to give us I like to switch up the flowers, like the interior design of it, because it gets more appealing as well. Like the first one is roses,
We
right?
probably should. I mean, like even this, I have three different wallpapers in this book designed. So it's like it's more like this, but it's more like feminine.
Yeah. See, even something okay, so even a wallpaper like that, right? That'd be cool. And then to have like how you have like that rose at the top by the
Yeah.
question, like to have something like that, like I think that'd be cool right there.
Or some other nature elements like stars or moon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
feel like it's gonna
mountains and
it's
trees in this one.
see even things like that could be maybe
Yeah.
for the third book or the fourth one, but things of that because people are gonna be like, you guys series is amazing. Like I like the design of it. Like the front cover, it stays the same, right? The sub, just the subtitles of it is different because it expresses, this is book two, book three, four, But then now when you open the book, you see, okay, the first one had roses. Now the second one has, a mountain of trees or whatever, or some other flower. It's like it becomes more appealing, like man, and then especially too, just what we're talking about. It's like, man, this is really
Yeah.
deep, and I have a good feeling, a strong feeling, like these are gonna be four good books that we're creating.
Oh, absolutely. So then the other thing, I'm getting into like a work session now, but the color, I like, us facing each other. We change out the subtitle.
Mhm.
The color, when I tried changing the color, it just put like a color filter on it. Whereas
Yeah.
like this, like there's not that filter. Do we keep it the green and just switch out
Mhm.
stuff, or do we?
No, keep it like that. We're just switching out the subtitles.
Okay. And then I'll change the design element right here to what
Mhm.
we use inside the book.
Yep.
Cool. So we don't have to overthink the cover stuff.
Nah, like you already said, like the cover stuff is already good. It's just we can come to an agreement on the interior part of it, but for the most part, yeah, it's just plug and play. I'm
Plug and
right
play,
there.
baby.
And that's gonna
Yeah,
be so awesome. I can't wait
dude,
to
it's a great series. I'm gonna
yeah,
add more notebook paper to it too.
yeah, yeah. That ooh. Let me hey Rich, let's end this real quick. I gotta take this possible call real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem. That was Timothy Hayden,
Hold
all the way
on.
from California.